Story 1. Getting into arguments on Instagram. I am aware that it is an absolute waste of time, and there are a million better things I could do with my time. I have a full life that I enjoy with a partner, a dog, friends, hobbies, a job I like, and I am taking college classes. I hate that I can't seem to resist getting into these discussions. There is just a part of me with a very strong sense of right and wrong, and it really frustrates me when I see people saying hurtful or blatantly misinformed things on the internet about vulnerable communities. It feels compulsory at this point, and probably something I need to work through internally. Story 2. Have hypothetical mental arguments so I can plan out my responses. It is unhealthy, and I cannot stand when I catch myself doing it. It happens a lot when I am driving alone. Story 3. Smoking cigarettes. I've had depression since I was 7, so the health aspects of it don't bother me. I wish it wasn't so damn expensive, though. A quote that always resonated with me was from Mac Miller. I don't want to grow old, so I smoke just in case. Story 4. Being on my phone. I have a toddler, and I know I should be spending time with him, but sometimes I just want to scroll the internet and get lost. Plus, I don't want him to develop bad habits. Story 5. Whenever my roommate is masturbating, I sense it and linger near the bathroom. I'm not sure if it's so I can detect his presence beneath the bathroom door or if I just want to capture a tiny bit of his essence. The problem is, the remains are always under a layer of literal waste, but I think it's worth it to be there for life. Story 6. Responding to those Reddit posts that ask, which city should I go to? Their preferences are between two destination cities, New York City or Los Angeles, with no alternatives. They dislike every city in Florida and Texas for various reasons. It reminds me of the house hunters looking for a $6 million mansion where the husband is unemployed and the wife earns $30,000 a year as a bookkeeper. I really believe 95% of the Reddit posts here are bots because no one is that foolish. Story 7. I follow a vegan diet because I want to do something good for animals even though I know I might be lacking some vitamins. I don't mind, as the ethical choice is more important to me. Story 8. Wear clothes that were probably made by enslaved people, maybe even children. Also, I eat meat and consume dairy from non-ethical sources. I also use my phone way too much and scroll on Instagram, wasting hours on it even when I tell myself I'm not going to. Story 9. I was thinking about this last night as I bought some licorice. I know that palm oil causes massive habitat devastation and orangutans in particular are harmed a lot, so I try to avoid using palm oil as much as possible. But last night I was craving Twizzlers. Story 10. Read through Reddit feed or social media feed. I know I'm fighting against an advanced algorithm that is designed to maximize my engagement and will use any and all psychological techniques to capture my attention, but I still fall into the trap nearly every day. Story 11. I feel like I am some sort of subconscious self-saboteur. I get the ball rolling, I do well, then I make a destructive mistake that I hate and costs me everything. I hate it, I tried to fix it, but it keeps happening. Story 12. I enjoy light beer. I shouldn't drink alcohol because it's wasted calories, but it sure is more fun than soda. That's my one vice. Grocery store fried chicken once a week in moderation isn't that bad for you in a balanced diet. But if I couldn't drink, I'd say forget it and eat a bucket of chicken. Story 13. Restrain myself from trying to get everyone in my world to see what is going on with Donald Trump. That is being a passive watcher, a good man doing nothing. I need to encourage myself to have the strength of character to speak to people and try to feel like I am doing something about this. Story 14. Drink Pepsi weekly and have salt daily. Oddly, no medical issues and I am over 55. I won the DNA lottery in that regard. Maybe my years of going to the gym help as well. At least I have reduced my Pepsi intake significantly and am now working on doing the same for salt. Story 15. Procrastination, swearing like a sailor, smokes a lot of weed, staying up late, not drinking enough water, not a lot of exercise, working too much till I burn out, not knowing when to say no. Story 16. So many things. Not enough water, too many sweets, smoke weed too often, spend on unnecessary things, curse a lot. I guess procrastinating in doing something to change it is worse than all of it. Story 17. Biting my cheeks. I started as a child due to stress at home from abuse of any kind, and I still do it even when I'm not stressed. I read online a while ago, and it's like the obsessions and compulsions in obsessive-compulsive disorder. I just can't stop. The good thing is it won't do any harm. I checked that too because I'm a smoker and was afraid I could get mouth cancer, but it's safe. Story 18. I have a Coke or Pepsi Zero addiction. Yeah, I know it sounds a bit insane, but I drink something like 1.5 to 3 liters per day, which is 1 or 2 bottles. It's just that I find water boring. The fact that I can buy the drink for almost nothing, that it's 0 calories so I can stay relatively lean and fit, and that the only real issue is my teeth health in the long term, makes it difficult for me to find a reason to stop. Story 19. Bad is the 7th studio album by American singer-songwriter Michael Jackson. It was released on August 31st, 1987, by Epic Records. Written and recorded between 1985 and 1987, Bad was Jackson's third and final collaboration with the producer Quincy Jones. Jackson adopted a more aggressive sound for the album, departing from his signature groove-based style and falsetto, primarily featuring pop, dance, and rhythm and blues, as well as elements of funk, soul, jazz, rock, and hard rock. Bad incorporated new recording technology, including digital synthesizers. Jackson co-produced and composed all but 2 tracks, and the lyrical themes include self-improvement, romance, world peace, media bias, paranoia, and racial profiling. The album features appearances from Siedah Garrett and Stevie Wonder. Story 20. I strain when I poop. I don't like sitting there for too long. Takes me a couple of minutes and I'm done. I've always done it. I know it's bad for my health, but that's the only way I know how to poop. Story 21. Spending money on clothes I don't need. Stress about university and life. Eating habits. Even though I literally have a Bachelor of Science degree in nutrition, I still eat junk or not enough protein. Higher screen time over screenless activities, such as reading. Story 22. Doom scrolling. My ADHD mind needs some form of attention. Edit. Thought this was reposted. A different user submitted it 18 minutes after you, lol. You literally asked this 20 minutes apart. Story 23. Drink soda and eat chips. I know that it's not good for me, but I enjoy the small part of my day where I'm playing video games or watching a movie, and I have my bag of chips and my Coca-Cola. Story 24. Every pregnancy, this happens to me because the baby makes me anemic. The baby takes all the nutrients I have, so it always ruins my teeth each pregnancy as well. This time around, I was chewing ice so much that it caused one of my fillings to fall out. But I literally can't give up the ice no matter how hard I try. Now I blend it to make it less harsh on my teeth. But I think eating ice may have cost me $2,000 out of pocket because they claim I may need a root canal now. Gotta love pregnancy. As soon as the baby comes out, I actually hate ice. It's the most confusing and frustrating thing. Story 25. I got one of those little ear scrapers with a camera that connects to your phone. They say a little wax is good for infection prevention, but my ears stay 99.9% wax-free because that is really addicting and fun. It is similar to popping a good pimple, but it regenerates every day and does not make you ugly. Story 26. Talk to the ex whenever he reaches out. The stupid because it keeps us both in limbo. Secretly wish he would either show up in person and try to work it out or truly leave for good. But I don't say that and just politely respond whenever he pops up. Story 27. Drinking soda. I know it's empty calories and I have an active enough job that if I stopped drinking empty calories, I would lose weight. I drink soda every single day. I dislike water. I wish I liked it more because besides weight loss, I'd save money when I went to restaurants because soda is $3.50 or more. I went on a cruise where soda was extra and coffee was free, so I decided I'd just drink coffee because I could get caffeine that way. Apparently, not consuming as much sugar as usual can cause headaches. 2. I hadn't had a headache in years, so I had no ibuprofen with me. Big mistake. Story 28. Smoking cigarettes for the last 47 years. Tried quitting a few times, just didn't work out. I do not smoke in my home, I go into my garage. I do not smoke close to anyone so as not to get smoke in their face. I'll step away if that's the case. Only smoke in my car when I'm alone. Story 29. My fiancé and I both suffer from chronically itchy ears. We have swabs in little jars in the bedroom, living room, and on the bathroom counter. It's just us, so it's not like we are digging in our ears in front of anyone. Also, we both do it for itching, not wax. I actually have virtually no wax in my ears, maybe a result of using hydrogen peroxide too much in past years and probably why my ears itch so badly. We also have these divine little all-plastic ear cleaners. One end is a soft little scoop, which we never use, and the other end is swab-shaped and finned for itching. The brand is Cleanery. They are truly wonderful. Story 30. How much time do you have? I have to tell you my life story. Also, too much of what others wrote. I don't think this is where a high score is good. Story 31. Staying up too late. I know it is not good for me, but sleeping just feels like it will start the next day sooner, which I hate working. Then I am tired and say I will sleep early that night, but then stay up too late again. Story 32. Illegal fireworks. I used to work for a couple of different Indian tribes and got involved with things that were crazy. Occasionally, I still run into that old crew, and they offload all their unsold ordnance. I quit messing around with it like I used to. Some kid just fatally blew himself up locally doing things I did back in the 1990s. Story 33. Read the news about the United States. If my mother and my dogs didn't live there, I wouldn't worry. I know it's bad, but I have to know my family will be safe. Story 34. Partake in debates on social media platforms, particularly X and Reddit. They are unhealthy, toxic, mentally destructive, unproductive, time-wasting, have zero value, and are anger-inducing. I know full well the destructive nature of it, but like a drug addiction, an itch that needs to be scratched, a fly to a UV lamp, I can't fight the urge and resist it. I hate it. I don't understand the temptation. Story 35. The seats are only about 4 feet wide. Take my size 20 hips and add about 3/4 of that. Then split the seat down the middle and that's how much space you have. If it's crowded and elders or people with disabilities need seats, then I'll, of course, get up and stand by the door and move out of the way when people need to exit. However, I hate when people sit next to me because I'm obese, so we have to squeeze a bit to stay out of the aisle, and I especially don't feel comfortable with a male I don't know sitting next to me and possibly having to make physical contact with me to fit all the way in. I have experience with unpleasant individuals, but even if they're female, I don't care. Once, for some reason, there was a woman who asked if she could sit next to me and gave me a disapproving look because I went ahead and tried to give her the whole seat. What's the problem? I don't want to sit next to you, so I'm giving you the whole seat. The person using a wheelchair who was going to take those 5 folded seats decided to take the next bus, so she was able to take her seat back. There was also a man who sat next to me once. I was trying to lean against the wall to give more space in between, but I think he could tell I was still uncomfortable. In response, he was on the phone, on a video call with another woman, and he was mocking me, saying things like, "Look at this girl." The thing that upset me was there was another empty seat available halfway through the ride. Move so we can both have space. Is it anyone else's fault that I'm a bit larger than usual? 5 feet 4 inches and 235 pounds? No. However, is there something wrong with wanting space? No. I can walk and bike instead, but I already get enough exercise at my retail job when standing up for hours, and during the extra 30 minutes I need to walk home for at least 3 of those 5 workdays. Story 36. I am never on time to work. It gives me so much anxiety. I literally never get up early enough and spend too much time scrolling on my phone with my morning cup of coffee before starting to get ready. Story 37. I smoke cigarettes. I do roll my own using pipe tobacco. That cuts down the majority of the chemicals, but it's still bad. I can't quit. They are my best friend. Story 38. Getting drunk as a coping mechanism in my relationships. I got drunk again tonight, and as a 16-year-old, I can already say it's not good. It's frustrating that weed is illegal, yet alcohol is legal. It's more or less the same thing, yet one is allowed. Also, I live in Greece, so while alcohol is not legal for teenagers, it's still given to them. It really sucks. Also, smoking was used as a general way to cope with things happening, but that isn't as bad. Story 39. Shove a toothpick in my ear and scrape against the walls of my ear and eardrum. I justify it by telling myself I'm just getting earwax out, and it sounds cool. When in all honesty, it doesn't do anything, and I'm really surprised I haven't shoved a toothpick through my eardrum. I've been doing this for 25 years. Laughing out loud. Story 40. Cleaning my ears with cotton swabs makes me realize why my dog kicks her leg when I scratch her belly. That just feels good. If my girlfriend wouldn't judge me, I'd probably let loose and kick my leg when cleaning my ears. Story 41. One bad habit I am attempting to completely get out of my life is lying down after having a meal. I will typically do a few dishes or clean stuff up, so I am not necessarily lying down right after eating. However, I am aware that putting little physical activity between meals on my days off can negatively impact my health. Not only does it lead to weight gain, but it is also a persistent contributor to heartburn and digestive issues. Story 42. I have not paid for street parking in over 3 years. The average parking ticket is $20 to $25 in our city. Based on the average cost to street park, my wife and I did the math a few years ago and determined that it was not worth paying the meter. We would rather just pay the periodic ticket. We figured we would do slightly better than break even by paying tickets instead of meters. Turns out we were way too conservative. In 3 years, we have not gotten a single parking ticket. We have easily saved hundreds of dollars. The only catch is that we avoid parking on the most popular streets. We just park one street up or down from them,